The Aquarian sun is rising now in the earthen kind's mind of a time of utopia and bliss. But what of our earthen leaders? Do they share the people's Aquarian dream? They come to our land as bankers of state, but thieves they be, robbing the nation blind of all the people's wealth, and refusing to change their greed-like ways. For none can say that the sick in wealth will ever transcend. Rebirth is what the dark druids dream of being reborn into their clans of old. So they share their wealth with their cousins' bank and shame themselves in incest delight, in order to keep their wealth to themselves. Unknown to them, the gods are awake to their plans of rebirth in their clans. So when they pass over, none shall inherit their ill-gotten gains, but in spirit they will burn in the pitman's fire, for their spirit guides detest their very souls of their unshamanic greed and perverse minds. So in the dawn of the Aquarian sun, let's wake the dead up to their plans, that they will inherit nothing but dust, and their clans will be filled with reborn sheep. Now the rebel moon is in the Aquarian sun, when the people rise as one and start a revolution all over this earth, where the people rejoice in a war easily won. For we have the numbers of political haste, and they have the wealth of the political might. So where does it end but in systematic doom, for either the people or the rich man's dream? So let us rejoice in the rebel's choice and start this revolution this very night. The moon was still up when little Heather's sunbeam went out into the wild, a smile on her face as she walked into the town. A Wiccan of 20 years or more, with the love of the gods in her soul. She needed to buy baskets for her herbal garden of lore, a garden of herbal delights to wake her own clan up, for she knew what the plants were for. Communing with your spirit guide, not tomfoolery on the streets. You know commune she hosted friends for life in a utopian paradise, deeply rooted within a dystopian landscape. An island of hope for the community that welcomed them into their lands. Healers and shamans they were, and the whole glen benefited from their presence there. So all were one in the legendary glen of summer. Then one day the inspectors arrived to search the land for illegal herbal cures, not to heal the sick but to cover up. For death is the state's game, and medical herbs are frowned upon. So Heather was arrested there in the town that loved her and her kind. But the Glen of Summer was not like the rest of Britain, for the folk there knew of community. And Heather and her kind were welcome there. So the town turned out in force and stormed the local police station. Words were spoken to the sergeant of the town, and no words were minced, as the people spoke as one for Heather and her clan. So reluctantly the sarge let the criminal walk free, else a riot would ensue in the village square. So the inspector left with a vow to return with more to say on this Heather Sunbeam gang. Heather thanked the locals by inviting them to their glen, and enlightened them with herbs and music as the party continued right into the night. For in the Glen of Summer the people are as one, and as one they will fall or thrive, so none get left behind. Sitting in the railway station, the inspector vowed to himself that no hippie commune would get the better of him. He, after all, had the lore of the land on his side, but what the folk of the Summer Glen knew was that the gods were on Heather's side. So no one would allow the state back into their glen, and the glen needed Heather's sunbeam to smile quietly to the wind. So the moral of the legend is this: if talking to the gods and taking healing herbs is illegal, then surely that state is bereft of the God-given right to rule. So let's send the politicians to the Glen of Doom, as we all travel to Heather's Glen of Summer.
Summer's day and a beautiful dawn woke up to the seer of the north. He knew the plan of the dark ones as his visions were still in his mind. The Sun King spoke to him in his visions, and he saw what the future could play, of one so bleak that the seer swore to leave his land. And to the Southlands he intended to go, for the folk there were fair but unenlightened to the wishes of the dark druid and kind of their intent to build the mounds of death for the island as a whole. So the Sun King Seer made a vow to the gods that his mission would begin by recruiting anew followers of his kind of the earth and moon's grace, that together they would wake the dead in the Southland's place. In the south the words of the seer of the north were heard so softly that all would beguile that one they knew was gathered anew with the spirit of the land. So the dead man's show went on unknown to some but enlightening others, and the dead man's war would erupt in the heart of Albion and rip the heart out of the dark druid's plan. So the Sun King spoke once more to the people of Albion. Through the seer of the north the words were heard by most and spread to the rest by word of mouth. So all now knew of the dark druid's plan to put the whole land down into dystopian hell that the people have no love of. So the protest finally came and sent shivers up the spine of the dark druid and kind, that their dream be destroyed by the dead man's scream. And the seer of the north drew up his plans to enlighten the whole wide world to the words of the Sun King and the dead man's wishes, that they create utopia in this earthen land. The seers on the mountaintop whistling to the moon above, making everyone smile with his songs of freedom. For all love, his utopian dream. Whistling to the moon above, making everyone smile with his songs of freedom. For all love, his utopian dream. For all love, his utopian dream. I was born under a dystopian moon, destined to sing of utopian dreams. Yet when I look out, all I see is the dead man's doom of an empire so distant yet so near, that all I know are dead. Dead under this dystopian empire of the sun. When I walk the streets of my land, I see hope undiminished. I also see the strength in the working class's eyes, that they live in poverty yet can still smile. I see my friends suffer under this government mindset of money for the rich at the people's expense, while the banker steals from all. What I don't yet know is when the protest will come
as I sit in my earthen home, condemned to die under this dystopian moon of lies from the state, repeated by the media, of words so sick that the gods frown. What I see on the news worries me, of words of praise for the rich while they shaft our land. Condemned to die under a dystopian moon, I see hope in the few awake that more could join this war. But how long do we have left before the darkened ones come, while the protest will never come? I hide my feelings in my boots as I walk this land, of feelings of repugnance for the rich man's game of greed, a perversion to the soul that corporations must by law cast people aside for profits immune. I see greed in the banks, politicians and the clowns who never know the true love of a planet and her species that the gods love with undiminished gifts, of the gift of free knowing and the gift of free actions. But beware, for we are judged for our journey when we die, as all souls get judged when they pass over. I watch the dead man's show and see it for what it is, a show of power by the state as well as the dead man himself, that he whistles so sweetly that the dead will rise and fight this good fight to free our very lands from the fate of the empire of the dystopian sun.
In the sunshine lands of California lives the free folk of the hippie communes, as well as the goons of the Silicon Valley, both entwined in the Sunshine State's epic mythos. Liam was in the commune talking to his friends about the Dead Man's Show, for even in California his words were heard, repeated by an underground network. To all that would listen, the truth about the dangers of the Silicon Valley Army and the network they were building. Of artificial intelligence and robots so wise that the earth and few are dead. Under this Silicon Valley mentality that high intelligence can only come from the machine and not from within the soul's deep key. In a desperate land so bereft of honor that the poor labeled white trash are the gangster few, and ignored by the majority so keen on their wealth. To Liam and his kind in the commune of the sun, the greed of the American few is corrupting their land. So to the awake in the US, rise to the moon and shake off those chains of tyranny, for they are easily broke by the people's protests of old. giving all fair folk of America. And your dream on an utopia will crumble under the dust of your right-wing mass and Zionist bullshit, that everyone who defends the Palestinian few is labeled a terrorist mind, and ignored or chained by the right-wing mob, when all the Israeli wants to do is murder the baby few. What of the ordinary American folk? Where does the silent majority sit on the fence of dystopia? Where do they show their feelings anew for their disgraceful few? That all the earth is in your playground shoe with your military might. Why don't you cleanse this earth instead of dominating your earthen kind? Why don't you liberate this very land?
In the tower blocks of golden sun sat Kenneth the acolyte of doom, for it was his kind that the dark elders turned to, gullible fools to turn the blind eye to common sense. In the afterglow of the fires of hate that burn deep within their hearts, of all that is good in the people's soul of delight, why then do the dark druids turn the blind eye to the people's strength, and only see the numbers eating their earth of the riches God-given rights, or so they believe in their warped, deluded minds. What then of Kenneth the fool? What of his love of power, lording it over his minions in an unshamanic deep blow to democracy's show of strength, by reducing it to a right-wing haze of a deep, deluded show for the rich to thrive at the people's expense. Who are the dark druids? Not of old Albion they be, but Norman fools and thieves they be. With the Zionist scum they plan the doom of us all. Not just the Muslim few, but the Christian and pagan too. So don't be fooled by their words of bitter condemnation of the Palestinian freedom fighter as a whole. For in the mind of the rebel lives the will of utopia. The media are the dark druids, and depraved they be, for they are of one with the global dark banker's mind, that they pervert their journalist views and cover up the dark one's sins. Pawns on the chessboard, the rich stockbroker plays the dark druid's game by robbing the poor of all of their wealth and shaming Robin in his Sherwood dream that the poor can thrive when given the chance, and not condemn worthless white trash, destined to die under a dystopian moon. In the tower blocks of golden sun sit the dark lords of earth and kind, not alike to the people's night, but twisted bitter by shames of greed, that they think we crave their ill-gotten gains, when all we want is utopia's dream.
Ladies sitting in the temple of the sun, making laws that pervert the soul as they plan the call of the herd on a planet so dear to us all. How do you like their molly-coddled sheep? Brainwashed politicians so bereft of independent thought that they need police help to keep them safe from the people's wrath, with words of law so perverse that they corrupt their souls for a traitor's pay and a pitman's flame. Protest mass with signs of rage against dystopia's rise in the dark one's kind. The temple of the sun is located in every country, filled by gullible clowns whose wealth betrays their intent to steal the earth and kind from this very home and send them to the doom of dystopia and an implanted nightmare for all. So rise up, you earth and kind, for our homes and children are at risk from an unshamanic doom on this earthen plane. Lock up the lords and ladies, 'cause you know that their kind are a threat to a very being
In the heart of London stands a tower invisible to all but the dark druid kind. And in that tower they do conspire the death of democracy as we know. With 500 million souls living in a delusional utopia. With robots as slaves, they don't need the people. So part of the 500 million we are not, but the wretched trash destined to fall under a darkness so sweeping that all are encompassed by that fire of doom. I can hear the devil conspiring with the dark druid kind of a vision so bleak that the fools think they will avoid the pitman's wrath. When they send 7 billion sheep to the wicker man's fire, only the blind could conspire in such a way. The doom of mankind in their disgraceful mind. What of an earth with 500 million fools? Surely the alien kind will take over our land. In an interstellar conspiracy, only the dark druid kind could imagine their vainglory of an egotistical doom of the intellectual fools who with no common sense, but with an implanted daze, they rush to ensure the doom of mankind in an unshamanic blaze. Have our politicians committed planetary treason by conspiring in such a way that the very doom of mankind is near, with a vision so dark being ignored by an orgasmic flow of deluded beliefs of the dark druid kind, that the implant can save them from the people's wrath. What of the dead man's show? Awake to all the dark druid plans. The dead man whistles a song so sweet that the very dead will rise to meet his gaze, and rise as one to prevent the doom of us all, and destroy the Tower of the Myth.